Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Cane Corso. So I'm here with Sookie. I basically have come to the realization that unfortunately I'm not gonna get to keep anything off of my belladonna stuff. Basically, Sookie is doing what that bull terrier did. She's staying in heat. She's not coming out. And what that tells me is that her hormones won't regulate properly. And so she won't be able to produce a litter. And so her mom had hormone problems. Now, whenever you're breeding dogs, just because one parent has something like that doesn't necessarily mean that that all the puppies will. And when you're dealing with a breed like ours that has a genetic bottleneck and you're trying to preserve as much genetic material as possible or diversity as possible, and when you're dealing with that, then you do want to try to. And ideally, if I was a bigger kennel, I would have kept back multiple females and tried to find the one that didn't have that and went forward with that. But I didn't have that ability. And so anyway, Sookie's what I have, and she's got it. She's got problems. And even if I was to get her pregnant, she'd probably end up in a situation like her mother where she's needing, an emergency C-section. So it worked out because the guy that I got Chala from, I think that this is a better dog for him. Sookie is, she's not a submissive dog in the sense that she's not like overly submissive, but she's not one of the top dogs. She doesn't have a problem, not being in the top ranks. And for that, it means that she'll do well in a home where there's already another dog, which there's a male there. It sucks for me because, like I said, I really loved belladonna and I really wanted to try to keep something off of that. But unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. And so we're there. I'm going to give Zoe one more chance, and then she may very well be in this exact same situation because I'm not entirely convinced that Zoe can produce a litter either. So there's just something about her that hasn't, for some reason, like, I've just never seen a female ever go on a split heat. Look at these honeysuckles. It's been so long, I don't even remember how to enjoy these. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's really sweet. So anyway, she had a split heat. We bred her to who was it? No, Hefe, and then that didn't work. So then she was in a split heat. So then I put her to I put her to Preacher. And that didn't work out. Thought for sure she was, but that didn't work out. And I know that they did. I know the days because I have security cameras. And so it's just, I've not ever seen that before. And so I'm going to give her one more shot because I will say that the reason I thought she was pregnant was because she really just kind of finished out in growth. She's over the 2-year mark. And usually when females hit that mark, they kind of fill out a bit more. And so I'm thinking maybe her body just needed a little bit more time to mature, So I'm going to give her that. And then this next time I'll take her in. I think we'll do an ultrasound and just make sure, I don't know if it's an ultrasound, but we have to make sure that her body is right, like that her reproductive system is all there and the size and, working the way that it should. And then so long as all that's good, I think I'll do progesterone testing, and then AI probably. So as far as who I'm gonna put her to, you know, I don't really know yet. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe Don Juan. No, not Don Juan. Who was I thinking? Grim. I think Grim. If Grim is old enough, I'd like to do Grim. So, because I'm really liking Grim a lot. God, he's a stunning dog. Aside from that, on a more personal note, today's been a really hard day. Like, and I don't even know why. Oh God, I haven't felt like this in so long. And I thought, you know, it was like fine, and then I was trying to get some stuff done. I will tell you, man, AT&T, oh my God. I had a problem with them, entirely their fault. It took them almost a year to fix it. And oh my God, it was so bad. I canceled. I'd been with AT&T for around 15 years, and I canceled. She's like, "Is there anything we can do?" "No, ma'am. You can cease to exist." That's about all you can do. So, but yeah, I'm not joking when I tell you that I was on the phone for probably close to 4 hours today with them, getting hung up on, not like people like intentionally hanging up on me, just like getting transferred to, like one lady transferred me to like card services. Like, it was just, hey, it had been so long that it was hard for them to help me. And then eventually they sent me to the right people, and they got it fixed. And it's over now, finally, after almost a year. Hey, baby. And so anyway, but I'm really excited about Sookie getting to go to this new home. She will do fantastically. She's a really good dog. She was raised inside, so she knows how to be an inside dog. She's very sizable. I believe she's bigger than Chala. She's going to be a much better match for his home. And she does not make a good kennel dog. Like, she is, in the kennel environment, she's very drivey. You know what I mean? She does much better in the home environment. So I'm really happy about that too. She's a dog that I probably would have retired as soon as I got something to replace her with. Like, you know, just because for me, I value temperament over everything else. And personality varies. But for me, I much prefer a calmer, like, more mastiffy type dog. And she can be that way in the house, but she's not that way outside. Outside, she's super drivey, like a freaking Malinois. And some Corso can be like that. Like, they'll be fine in the house, but then they act up when they're not around their owners. Like when you need to put them away or stuff like that. And so she's just going to do better in a home environment with another dog that, you know, and she can just be her calm self, not, you know, the one out here that is like, don't get me wrong, I have the e-collars for barking, so they don't bark all the time, but let's just say that a lot of my dogs, I can have a collar on and it does not have to have good batteries in it, and they will not bark. Her, if the batteries are dead, she's barking. So, it's, I guess, you know, it would be one thing if I didn't have the stress of what's going on, you know what I mean? The pressure to keep my dogs absolutely silent. I probably wouldn't have, you know, like, those feelings about her, you know what I mean? But with it being that way, it's like, you know, it's just, she's the one dog that we always have to stay on top of for that. And so for me, it's a relief to not have to have her here, for that reason. But I know how she is in the house, you know what I mean? I raised her in the house, and she's only been outside since we got here, and she's about 2 years old now. So she spent the first, like close to 1.5 years of her life in the house. So, which is probably why she doesn't handle being outside very well. I mean, a lot of dogs that, if they weren't raised in a kennel environment, they don't always do too well in it. So, so anyway, but to me, it's a positive. I mean, it's a positive for her, and it's a positive for the guy who's getting her. It's a negative for me in the sense that I don't get to keep anything off of Belladonna's lines. But on the flip side, I mean, if it's not healthy, then I don't want it. You know what I mean? And that's not to say anything about her lines not being healthy, because Velocity and Preacher share similar lines. But what I mean by if it not being healthy, I mean her specifically. If she cannot produce good litters, then she cannot be here, and I don't want to keep anything off of it. As far as, like, there are people that will try everything to get some dogs pregnant, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna go that route, because like I said, I want my dogs to be kind of worry free and just more natural, and not to be problematic. And you know, like, if you can't do it without major medical intervention, then you just don't need to be doing it. You know what I mean? So, anyway, because that's really and truly their main, you know, what would it be? The main, contribution to the breed is in their ability to produce puppies. As far as, like, what the females bring to the table in a breeding environment. So, and I think where a lot of people have that issue is where they spend a lot of money showing a dog, you know, and they've health tested it, and they've showed it, and they've put all this money into it. And then when it ends up having a problem, then they've just got so much invested that they don't want to give it up. And I think that's why, for me, I like to look at it in simpler terms. You know, I do like to look at the females like that, because in the long run, you're not helping the breed by using a dog that doesn't have a natural capacity to do that job, just because it did have a natural capacity to show and has good health testing. And so I think if you can see structure, you educate yourself on structure, and you choose the best dogs you can, and then you make sure they're healthy and that they can reproduce, which is important for the future of the breed. Because there are some breeds, like Frenchies, for example, if you weren't there to ensure the survival of that breed, they would literally die off, because they're not capable of natural breeding. Even if they're capable of natural breeding, they're not capable of natural whelping. And I just don't believe in that kind of stuff. So I just think it's unethical. And so anyway, you know, it happens. I've told people all the time, in these dogs, there's never any guarantees. It happened with Nirvana. Not Nirvana, Midnight. I didn't get to breed her. And Liberty. I mean, it's happened to quite a few of my dogs where we didn't get to use them. And the reality is just that's just how this breed is. It's still in recovery, and you got to be prepared to have a lot of loss, like a lot of issues. And I mean, mind you, like, Belladonna is not my production. You know, Sookie is by no means my lines, you know what I mean? She's the result of 2 different kennels breeding. But the reality is that it happens. It can happen to anybody. It's not even their fault. It's just bad luck. And so we'll kind of move on from this. And that's why I have prospects. I've got young dogs that we hope will work out. We hope we get to use. But like I said, there's really and truly never a guarantee. And unfortunately, Sookie she passed everything else, health testing, all that stuff. But just, nope, didn't pass the main test. So... and hopefully, like I said, hopefully Zoe does, because she's a really beautiful dog. She's matured into a very large, very gorgeous dog, but I don't know, man. I'm not convinced. So, but we'll see, man. Velocity kind of started off rough too. Nothing like this, but more like what's her name went through. What she's going through is just not at all even safe. Like what these dogs do whenever they stay in heat like this is they get what's called pyometra, and it's infection of the uterus. And so anyway, so she'll have to be spayed. And look at that structure. She'll have to be spayed. So, but anyway, I guess I just wanted to update you guys on that, and hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.